Faisal help you on Saturday? What do you see from him?
Yeah, he has a familiarity with what we're trying to do as far as game plan and what we try to implement going forward. And so the recall for him is good. Just got to still make a few more plays. I know he wants to make, but his presence is good. As far as a veteran guy being able to be a leader, you can tell his confidence is going up with each practice, each rep, and we need him to step up in a big way this weekend.
Is he one of the guys? How accurate is it that you guys have basically reverted to the defense they played last year?
We've implemented a few things that the coaches wanted to get in, and that's helped us for sure. As far as guys being able to get off and go play faster, and there's some things technically that we like a little bit better than what we were doing. So it's just still a good mix of what we're doing. But the recall, like I said, that's what I'm referring to. There are some things that we've done that they did last year that's helped because of the injuries and things that we've had. So
who else has benefited from that switch? Guys like Anthony Sherrills, maybe?
Sherrills has, Cam a little bit, and I think B. Lee has played a little bit. He's got to make a few tackles that he missed in space. Again, same thing that we've talked about the last 3 weeks. But those guys in particular have benefited. I think up front, some of the calls have allowed some of those guys to feel a little bit more relaxed and play a little bit fast without analyzing or overthinking some things. So I think it's helped the front four for sure. The more we dropped in the depth chart, the more we was concerned about them being able to keep up with what we were trying to do. And so it was just kind of a good thing. You had a bunch of guys that had played for them last year, and that just, again, their confidence went through the roof because the recall from what they had done, those guys knew those adjustments a little bit quicker. But we still got a few things that we're doing that we're carrying. But definitely because of injuries and confidence and a lot of other things, we try to go back to a couple things that we had done in the past, so that he did last year.
Was there any learning process for you? I mean, not having run that scheme, did you have to go back to school?
Well, it's football, and once you know the ins and outs and how to fix things and what you're trying to do, it wasn't that much. More terminology. He called some things one thing, I called it another. And once I was able to switch the terminology, I could equate it to what I was doing or what we were doing previously, and that kind of helped. And then we carried some terms over that we had implemented from the spring and fall camp. So it was a little bit of learning on both his part and my part, to be honest with you.
Was it a setback for guys like Kale, who had kind of been working his way in, but he's one of the guys who hasn't played in that system?
Yes, for sure. His confidence, you could tell his dabber was down a little bit. He didn't start the game, and I think a lot of it was just simply because we were trying to get a few new things in a short period of time that he didn't recall as quick as some of the other guys, and so that set him back for sure. But that kid's a fighter. He's fighting his way back and try to get back into that starting rotation. But he's going to play a lot just like he did last week.
TJ Warren moving to linebacker,
Yes.
Nickelback. What do you thought about the way he's adjusted?
Well, 10 tackles. He's productive. He didn't miss any tackles either, so that was even more glaring. He filled the hole. He was in there. He was active. He was around the ball. And he's going to continue to have a good role. He played 70-some snaps this week, and he played 70-some the previous week. And so he's not standing out in a bad way. So that was a great find for us over the off week, and then also just continue to go forward and say, okay, we need this guy. Because when Newsome went down, second series or something, I mean, it's like it's happening. Everything's happening in the first quarter. We get by the first quarter, we got a chance. But it was just good to know that he could go in there, play the run, defend the pass, and make some tackles. So really good for us.
Did he just get too big for cornerback? I mean, for cornerback, he's like 210. That's a pretty big guy.
It is a big guy. The thing is, he hadn't lost a lot of his speed. He never really was a fast corner for us. He was more of a cover two kind of squat corner in the flat. But his cover skills and his weight has helped him. And it's a little different when you have to play in the box. But again, he had backed down from that, and he's going to go in and have a very big role for us again this week.
In today's college football, and how important is the nickel back or star linebacker or whatever guys?
Very. I mean, like I said, with Newsome down, Therese down, those guys were kind of the nickel backers for us, even though they really didn't have the cover skills of a DB. We asked them to do some of those things, and now having a cover guy makes you a little bit more flexible in your calls and not being worried about coverage out there. So it's helped us and allowed us to make a few more calls where we're not as afraid of the coverage aspect of it.
Especially the older guys said, they were more confident, they felt better playing, but the results obviously somewhat similar. Is it like riding a bike? Can you pick it right back up, or do you
guys probably would go make. And we just got to get our confidence up in our tackling, be reassured that we're going to have better team pursuit to the ball, because that helps some of those missed tackles when you got really good team pursuit. And if we can get that done, then really, that covers up a lot of the mistakes that could happen on every play. So I don't know if it's a scheme thing as much as it is a tackling and a confidence thing.
You mentioned Cale kind of having his dauber down. What about for you? Your first year as coordinator and having to make such a big change mid-season after the struggles. Has that been hard on you?
Well, I've had great expectations of myself and this defense from day one. And so for us not to get the production and the plays that we wanted, that I've wanted, it's been disappointing. But it hadn't discouraged me from continuing to try to get the next win against the next opponent. I'm just as fiery now as I was then, because I always wipe the board clean. I don't get caught up in all the other things. I'm just trying to get these kids better, get them in position to make plays, and then at some point they got to be able to make the plays, and that's what it comes down to. But we're focused on this game, and we're not really caught up into anything else other than trying to go get the W this week.